Well, thanks very much, Elvis. And yes, indeed, I do have with me former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who is the head of the African Union Observer Mission. Prime Minister, thank you very much for joining us and welcome to the SABC.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
Well, you have been talking to various stakeholders, political parties, the king and other people who have a stake in this election. What are they telling you?
Well, everybody seems to be having confidence in the process, and they all think that things are going to move on fine. This basically is the impression that I get from talking to the people. As you know, we have had a long-term mission here consisting of 40 people which has been on the ground up to now, and they have compiled a report which is detailing the state of preparedness by the people for these elections.
What does that report say? What does that AU report say from the people who have been on the ground, as you say, for a good few weeks now?
Well, generally they think that the preparation is fair, that when the IEBC had challenges, they think that they have been able to surmount these challenges and that they are prepared to deliver a credible electoral process. We've talked, as you mentioned, to the political party players, the leaders of various political parties. Equally, all of them seem to be exuding confidence. Of course, usually everybody says they're going to win. We just talked to the Prime Minister, who has given us historical background to these premature elections. Why? And he equally says that they've done their best. There's the military, of course, and the police, the security forces generally, whom we have been urging to be neutral in this process. Then, of course, there's the king, who is also playing a very crucial role as the head of state. The media. Of course, so there have been claims that the media have been a little bit partisan, but most of them have actually promised that they're going to play their role as the fourth estate. There's the civil society, which is also involved, and they also, of course, talking about their role, generally expressing hope and wish that the things should go fine. So I think...
so across the board, everyone is optimistic that things have gone smoothly so far, and it looks like they will indeed go smoothly going to Saturday. But a key issue that some people have been raising is whether all parties will be or are prepared to accept or will be prepared to accept the outcome.
Well, as you know, in the electoral process, every contestant exhibits some kind of confidence and try to assure their supporters that they're going to win.
Until they lose.
Until they lose. They say that in Africa, elections are never lost, they're only rigged. We are saying that we should reach a stage where the process, if it is free and fair, should produce winners who are magnanimous in victory, and the losers who will accept that they lost fairly. I think the most important thing is the fairness of the process. If the process is done credibly and is free and fair, even the loser will make a little noise, but ultimately they will accept the outcome.
How do we deal with that situation, Prime Minister, which, as you couldn't have put it better myself? How do we deal with this situation so that people know, even before they even attempt to go to an election, they know that there are proper systems in place that will almost guarantee a free and fair outcome? In other words, these things don't come up so close to an election, these states of feelings of apprehension and anxiety, which then lead everybody to panic, which lead other people to conclude that losers may not be ready or keen to accept an outcome. How do we put systems in place long beforehand that guarantee us the kind of outcome that we want, and acceptance, of course, of the outcome?
You see, it really depends on who is there in power. Usually, you have an incumbent who's hell-bent using the next elections basically to perpetuate himself or herself in power.
Then we have a problem.
Of course, you have a problem. They will resist any kind of reforms. I know it, speaking from Kenya, that now we are 2 years into the new government and they still have refused to accept to do reforms in the electoral commission. So it is not usually the mistake of the new players who have come on board. It is usually
the incumbents, sins of incumbency.
Yeah, the incumbents, sins of incumbency, because they basically want to use it almost like a civilian coup. You know, there are incumbents who do these elections merely because they are forced by circumstances, but they should never lose. So they're basically held in order to perpetuate themselves back in power.
Well, we hope that will not be the case here in Lesotho and indeed in the rest of the continent. Prime Minister, thank you very much for talking to us, and all the best on your mission that you are here to do.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who is the head of the African Union's Observer Mission, giving us insights into the issues that have been raised by the various stakeholders who he has already spoken to. Nothing alarming, nothing untoward. It does look like Lesotho is very much on track. And with that, it's back to you, Elvis.
Vuyo, thank you so much. That was our very own SABC's news contributing editor, Vuyo Mvoko, coming to us live from Maseru in Lesotho.